Hi, this is Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. Today's June 1st, and we're looking at another one of those situations that just, as a pro-lifer, it really shocked me to learn about it, because I had been under the impression that when abortion was illegal, you botch one, you go to prison, you're taken off the streets. You know, by attrition, nobody but the competent ones are left. And I was really shocked to find out how many repeat offenders there were. And today we're going to look at one of them. It's Dr. Otto Lucy. He was working in Oklahoma in the late 1930s. A 24-year-old department store clerk named Mary Ellen died June 1st of 1938 from results of a criminal abortion. The abortionist was identified as Otto Lucy, and he called himself Dr. Otto Lucy, but he was, like Harvey Carman later, a psychologist, not a physician. He was also a speech teacher. Now, he evidently had just started running this abortion business out of his home because, excuse me, people living nearby were complaining about patients arriving at Lucy's house day and night and sometimes being carried out on stretchers, which would mean that Lucy was running some sort of clinic in violation of zoning ordinances. And it's like, why wasn't anybody looking into why his patients were being carried out on stretchers? This guy was a psychologist. You know, what's up with that? Now, Lucy insisted that he was living in the dwelling and not engaging in any sort of business out of it. And the coverage of this dispute came after Mary Ellen's death. In fact, as far as I can tell, Lucy wasn't even arrested for her death until July of 1940. So, you know, she was dead 2 years. The neighbors are complaining about people coming and going all hours of the day and night, being toted out on stretchers. Takes 2 years to get around to arresting him. And a 49-year-old practical nurse admitted to helping Lucy perform the abortion. She said that he frequently brought his abortion patients to her home for aftercare, and she too was arrested. While he was out on bail, pending disposition of Mary Ellen's death, he performed a fatal abortion on a woman named Goldie Crow. And he perpetrated another abortion on a stenographer who lived between his arrest and the first trial in Mary Ellen's death. So, he was, for some reason, tried first for Goldie's death, found guilty of manslaughter, and sentenced to 25 years in prison. And he made a plea bargain in Mary Ellen's death where he pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter so that he would get a 25-year sentence for her death as well, but the sentences were to run concurrently along with the sentence for the abortion patient who survived. And doesn't it just figure, he got paroled in 1945, so he didn't even serve one of those 25-year sentences. Now, I haven't seen any evidence that he went back to being an abortionist. So I guess in this case, he at least learned his lesson. He didn't move out of town. So, but there goes the idea. You know, just like with Kermit Gosnell, the pro-choice movement assumed you make it legal, then it's being overseen by the state. They're inspecting the clinics, medical boards overlooking it, blah, blah, blah. But all we have to do is look at Kermit Gosnell and see that all it takes is abortion supporters in key positions for this kind of crap to just continue. And the reason this channel is called the Sisyphean Journal is because it's like rolling a rock up a hill again and again and again to get this kind of tipping point with pro-choicers to get them to care about whether the abortion is safe or not. The abortion happening seems to be sufficient. So once it's legal, abortion supporters are like, okay, no problem, we don't have to worry about it anymore, which isn't true. But also, pro-lifers are assuming that when Roe's overturned and a state criminalizes abortion, okay, our work here is done. It's never over. It's always going to have to be the pro-lifers keeping an eye on these people and making sure that they're not harming and killing women, because you can't count on pro-choicers to do it.